Hello friends, welcome to my channel Versatile. Last time we made a video on internal combustion engine, how that internal combustion engine produces the heat energy and then later on converts into mechanical energy, and what are its different components. In today's video series, the next video will be on this is how petrol engine and diesel engine works, uh, how that is classified from internal combustion engine to petrol engine, diesel engine, and what are the different parameters which are helpful for understanding the working of petrol and diesel engine. Now, we'll just revise last time. In internal combustion engine, whether it is a petrol engine or diesel engine, it has major four operations. One is suction, second one is compression, third one is expansion, and fourth one is exhaust. Whether a petrol engine is there or diesel engine is there, both the engine goes through these four major operations. And conceptually, uh, during a suction stroke and during ignition stroke, that is before expansion, the working of petrol and diesel engine varies. How that varies, what are the different phenomena there, that we are going to discuss in this particular video. So let's start. Now if you see in this diagram, this is called as piston, this is connecting rod, this is called as crank, and this is called as a crankshaft. This figure is a two-dimensional figure for any engine, and it's a cut section figure, and reciprocating motion of the piston is converted into reciprocating motion. What happens inside the petrol engine will go one by one. During suction stroke, for petrol engine, through inlet wall, this is a inlet wall. Now if you see in this particular diagram, this is a inlet port, right, and this is a exhaust port, right. Through this inlet port, during suction stroke, when piston travels from this top dead center to bottom dead center, one stroke is completed or one operation is completed, that is called a suction operation or suction stroke, and that is taken place by external source. External source means if it's a two-wheeler, most of the time that is by a kick. If it's a four-wheeler, it is taken place with the help of a starter. That means a battery gives the power to the starter, and then starter engages with the crankshaft, or that produces rotating motion to the crankshaft, and then piston produces initial reciprocating motion that is required for producing a suction and compression stroke initially. So, to produce the work from the engine, please mark my words, initially some external work is provided by either a kick or a starter, right? Then after that stroke, in petrol engine, through inlet wall, petrol plus air mixture is supplied. Now this petrol plus air mixture is supplied by a device that is called as carburetor. Now I'll make another video on this carburetor, how that mixture is takes place in petrol plus air inside the carburetor. Now as far as our today's topic is concerned about petrol engine, we'll focus only on these four operations and how that works in the petrol engine. Now during suction stroke, as we have said, petrol plus air mixture is supplied through inlet wall during suction stroke. At that time, piston travels from top dead center to bottom dead center, and here a vacuum is created. Vacuum means pressure less than atmospheric, and this petrol plus air mixture is at atmospheric pressure. So pressure difference is created by moving piston from top dead center to bottom dead center. Here pressure less than atmospheric, and petrol plus air mixture is at a pressure uh, at atmospheric pressure or more than atmospheric pressure. So due to that, naturally this petrol plus air is forced into the engine cylinder. There is no external motor is provided, so it happens due to pressure difference between engine cylinder and external atmosphere. And then when charge comes here, charge means what? Mixture of petrol and air. We are talking about petrol engine. That charge is compressed during compression stroke. At that time, piston travels from bottom dead center to top dead center, and its position will be here, right? and all the charge which was in the cylinder is gets compressed, right? And at the end of compression or before the end of compression, in case of petrol engine, a third device is mounted here in between the two walls, inlet and exhaust, that is called as spark plug in case of petrol engine. Please mark my words, we are discussing about petrol engine. So at the end of compression, the charge which is compressed here, its pressure and temperature is at that level कि as soon as it reaches, piston reaches the top dead center, the spark is produced by a battery or external source through which battery gives the energy to the spark plug, and spark is produced here at the top dead center, and the charge is ignited. Ignition means if you see, at the end of compression, piston is at top dead center and spark is ignited here, due to which tremendous pressure of the charge, petrol and air mixture, after burning produces on the piston, and due to that pressure, piston starts moving in downward direction, that is at bottom dead center, and this pressure is responsible for continuous reciprocating motion of the piston. Hence, when piston travels from top dead center to bottom dead center, this is expansion stroke, that is also called as a power stroke, because the power which we want to give to the crankshaft, that is produced during this stroke, hence that is called as expansion or power stroke, during which piston travels from top dead center to bottom dead center, that too by the pressure created by burning of petrol and air mixture by spark plug. So mark my words, during suction stroke for petrol engine, petrol plus air mixture is supplied inside the engine in second stroke, that is compressed, and at the end of compression, ignition takes place by spark plug. So suction and ignition, these are the two parameters which differentiate petrol and diesel engine. And expansion stroke, as we have discussed last time, during which piston travels in the bottom dead center, and during exhaust stroke, exhaust valve is open, and whatever charge is there, this charge, that is burned gases after ignition, that is sent into the atmosphere during exhaust stroke. Piston travel from bottom dead center to top dead center, and exhaust gases pass through the silencer that we have discussed last time. Now, point to be marked is that in case of petrol engine, during suction stroke, petrol plus air mixture is supplied inside the engine. This is first point of difference. Second point is ignition of the charge after compression or at the end of compression is taken place by an external source, that is spark plug, and then rest of the operations are same, that is expansion and exhaust. Now we will see what happens with these four operations in case of diesel engine. Again, mark my words, all these four operations remain same for petrol and diesel engine. Only difference is that during suction stroke, petrol plus air mixture is supplied in the engine, and at the end of compression, ignition takes place by spark plug for petrol engine. Now we'll discuss about diesel engine. What happens inside the diesel engine? In case of diesel engine, the structure remains the same. That means all components will be there. Only difference is during this operation, four operation. So let's start about diesel engine. During diesel engine, for first stroke, suction stroke, piston will be at top dead center. Through kick or through external starter, piston is allowed to reciprocate in the downward direction to create the suction. And during suction stroke, only air is supplied through inlet valve. So what was the, in case of petrol engine, petrol plus air. In case of diesel engine, during suction stroke, only air is supplied inside the engine, and then that air is compressed, and at the end of compression, the air is compressed inside the engine, and the temperature of air is increased above the self-ignition temperature of the diesel. Now we are discussing about diesel. Now what is self-ignition temperature? ये ऐसा टेम्परेचर होता है कि उसके ऊपर अगर डीजल का टेम्परेचर गया तो वो ऑटो इग्नाइट हो जाता है या सेल्फ इग्नाइट हो जाता है. तो हम डीजल इंजन में डीजल को बर्न करने के लिए, इग्नाइट करने के लिए एयर को सक्शन स्ट्रोक में अंदर भेजते हैं। उसको हम इतना कंप्रेस करते हैं कि उसका टेम्परेचर, एयर का टेम्परेचर डीजल के सेल्फ इग्निशन टेम्परेचर से ऊपर लेके जाते हैं, सो दैट एट द एंड ऑफ कंप्रेशन, जैसे ही ये एयर कंप्रेस हो जाता है, हम स्पार्क प्लग की जगह पे यहाँ पे एक डिवाइस माउंट किया जाता है, उसको हम फ्यूल इंजेक्टर बोलते हैं। वो फ्यूल इंजेक्टर फ्यूल पंप को कनेक्ट किया होता है और वो फ्यूल पंप से हम फ्यूल, प्रेशराइज्ड फ्यूल, हम ये फ्यूल इंजेक्टर से ये जो हमने एयर कंप्रेस किया है उसके ऊपर स्प्रे करते हैं। क्या स्प्रे करते हैं? डीजल को स्प्रे करते हैं। जैसे ही ये स्प्रे किया हुआ डीजल, स्प्रे मीन्स जैसे हम शावर लेते हैं बाथरूम में, जैसे वो शावर हमें पार्टिकल में वाटर स्प्रे करता है, सिमिलरली ये इंजेक्टर पार्टिकल के फॉर्म में डीजल को स्प्रे करता है। दैट इज कॉल्ड एज एटमाइजेशन ऑफ डीजल। विद फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर कंसेप्ट वी आर गोइंग टू मेक सम वीडियोज. So what where we were during suction stroke, only air is supplied, that is compressed. At the end of compression, the temperature of air is increased above self ignition temperature of diesel, and as soon as it is compressed through fuel injector, fuel is sprayed on the air, and the moment it contacts with the air, as that air is above self ignition temperature, that diesel, when mixes with the air, it is auto-ignited, self-ignited, and ignition takes place. And then due to that ignition of diesel plus air, tremendous amount of pressure is acted on the piston, and then piston, due to this pressure, starts moving in downward direction and produces a power. And then during exhaust stroke, exhaust gases, that is leftover gases, are sent into the atmosphere through exhaust port or exhaust line through the silencer into the atmosphere. So to conclude, petrol engine and diesel engine has both, for both the engines we are having these four operations. Only the difference is working that during suction stroke, for petrol engine, petrol plus air is supplied in the engine, and second point of difference is ignition takes place with the help of spark plug. In case of diesel engine, during suction stroke, only air is supplied inside the engine, that is compressed above self-ignition temperature of the diesel, and at the end of compression, instead of spark plug, a fuel injector is mounted. That fuel injector sprays the fuel on that air which is above self-ignition temperature of that diesel, and then diesel ignite. So ignition takes place with the help of self-ignition temperature of air. This is the point of difference. Rest of the things remain constant. That is, expansion and exhaust takes place same in case of petrol and diesel engine. So this was about petrol and diesel engine. In next video, we are going to discuss about what is mean by two-stroke and four-stroke engine. So two-stroke मतलब क्या होता है, four-stroke मतलब क्या होता है, that will be discussed in the next video. So to watch more kind of videos, do not forget to like, share and subscribe my versatile channel. Thank you.